Hey, I'm on the edge of my seat here, back again with another brand new video, and today I'll be no damaging all the long battles in Yakuza 3 on Legend difficulty, though technically this first battle is not on Legend difficulty, it's on extremely hard difficulty, shortened to X hard on the original PS3 release of Yakuza 3. This footage is from the original PS3, which may have you asking, hey, why is it in 1440p? Is it because one of the later battles you do the remastered version and not the PS3 version? No, it's because this footage has been upscaled to 1440p because I am playing on the original PS3 at 720p, but I'm using a RetroThink 5X in order to natively upscale that footage to 1440p using an experimental firmware update which allows you to do that. And also, this 1440p mode only works with certain monitors and TVs because my 4K TV, it did not work out, but for my 4K monitor, it did work out, so hopefully that's not confusing at all. The RetroThink 5X is a device I've used before to no damage the video game Ice Age 2. But instead of talking about movie tie-in games, I should probably talk about what I'm doing in this no damage. There is a little bit of strategy going on there, so, you know, I mean, I hope a lot of it is self-explanatory enough because a lot of it does tend to go pretty fast, but in the beginning I used the knife heat action. The knife heat action to pretty much take out 4 guys or take out as much health as possible, so I can just quick step attack into them to eliminate their health bars. And then from there I'm kind of doing a bit of stylish stuff with the enemies up above here. Even though you don't really need to fight these enemies because you can kind of just break the barriers and skip these enemies, but while I'm here, and since this level is short enough, I will be defeating every single enemy in this level. But like, I don't know, the way that like Yakuza 2 and Yakuza 3's like long battles are designed, it's kind of like a Doom level. No, it's not at all like a Doom level, but like it's kind of like a Doom level light, if you know what I mean, because in Doom there's a lot of like hidden secrets, and like some of these enemies might as well just be like secrets or just like a completion bonus, because you know, like at the end of this level there should be like a little result screen that shows you like how many enemies you like killed. Oh, you don't kill any enemies, how many enemies you've knocked out, or how many secrets you missed, because I swear, like, the way they're designed, it feels like it's slightly leaning into that. And also, I grabbed the bat there because once this animation is done, this QT animation, it's just gonna have a really funny stance with Kiryu holding the bat. It's like holding it like a newborn child. Just look at that, he just really loves that bat. That's not how you normally hold it. I don't know why he holds it like that. And that doesn't always happen. I mean, a lot of the time it happens when I have a bat and I enter that little animation, but sometimes it just doesn't. So yeah, you want to take out the guy with the knife there. He's a little bit tricky because he can swing those knives really fast. Though, when I say like swing the knives, I of course mean throw, but it can happen surprisingly fast. And sometimes I throw that bat and it doesn't damage anyone. That's actually going to happen later. And something I should mention is that on this original PS3 version, I'm not fully upgraded. I mean, like, my tech is fully upgraded because if your tech is not fully upgraded, you're going to end up getting screwed because your tech being fully upgraded is super important because that's the only way to get dodge canceling abilities. And mind you, those dodge canceling abilities only work when you don't have heat. I think that's kind of dumb. I kind of wish you always had dodge canceling, but I don't know if I prefer being able to dodge cancel when you have heat or being able to dodge cancel when you don't have heat, but I just kind of prefer having dodge canceling all the time. See, I just threw that long-ass pipe and it didn't damage anyone, and for this crowd, I'm going to kick this barrel at them to kill most of them off, and like this is going to be completely accidental. I just dodge into this guy and I can just do a full combo behind his back. And the reason I'm doing the original PS3 version of Yakuza 3 for these long battles is because I had the incorrect assumption that it was going to be easier than the remastered versions, because one of the biggest complaints about the remastered versions of Yakuza 3 is just that, like, the boost to 60 FPS kind of ruined the combat in certain ways. Like, you know, enemies just block more, your dodge is kind of shit, so on and so forth. So yeah, once you enter this room, you're really going to want to do this heat action. Then once you're done with this heat action, this room still sucks, I hate it. It's a really small space. You have, like, the fat enemy, which they're just coded to have really annoying attacks. And then you have the guy in white, which I'm pretty sure just has Hayashi's moveset from Yakuza 2, and that's incredibly aggressive, but at the very least you can actually grab that guy. One of the most annoying things about like the bigger weighted enemies is that you just can't grab them, just push you off. So, you know, like your biggest like enemy in this room is just the biggest enemy in the room, literally. He is the biggest threat, you have to eliminate him as fast as possible. I took him out with the heat action there, and then from there I'm just kind of playing it safe, only really doing light combos, quick step attacks, you know, really playing it safe. And there I kind of did like a little teleportation jutsu, but I failed in the middle of it, so I just kind of stopped doing it. That's a very advanced technique. I don't really know how to explain it. I've played this game for so much that it just instinctively comes to me, but not really that useful. I just kind of wanted to do it for a little bit of style. But yeah, that is the first long battle in the Tamashiro fight. I will not be doing the final boss fights of each of these long battles because I've already done a video where I've no damaged every single boss fight in Yakuza 3. So if you want to see those fights, just watch that video. I'm going to keep this strictly to the long battles, but what counts as a long battle section and what counts as a boss fight section gets a little bit muddled later on. And by later on, I of course mean the final level, so we're not going to be there until like a little bit later in this video. Though I'm not going to lie, the second half of this video is basically just the long battle, while the first like 4 long battles before that one are a lot shorter than pretty much what comes at the very end of the game, which, you know, it makes sense. You know, the finale should probably be bigger than what's at the very beginning of the game. But yeah, no, we're here at the Konda level now, the Red Brick Hotel. And the previous level, it doesn't really have a name, it's just Tamashiro's like Yakuza office, so I'm just gonna call that one the Tamashiro Family. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually having a bit of issue like recollecting the particulars of like the strategies of like these first couple long battles, because I spent like the last 4 to 5 days, like from 9 to 8, trying to no damage the final long battle of this game. So honestly, that one's a lot more present in my head than this Konda level. And to be fair, this Konda level is the easiest one in the game. I did still struggle with it though, but it only really took me a day, while the Tamashiro one took me like 2 days. And then the next one, well, there's a little bit of cheese here, you know, I mean, I like my Swiss, my Gouda. You'll be seeing some of that later on in this video. I also encountered a bit of a mouse knight in some of my no damage fails. Watch those for more context. But before I continue talking, I really like the gimmick of this level, just like hunting Konda down. And since I already know where he is, I can just immediately bum rush to his location. But since, if you don't know, you'll just be going to random doors, you know, there'll be a little bit of comedic element. Sometimes you'll just get pulled into a random enemy encounter. It's a really fun level. It just kind of plays around with stuff. And I'm very glad that, like, Yakuza 6 kind of brought it back in a way. Kind of brought back the little hotel gimmick, you know, checking rooms. It was cool, though. Whether that level is actually fun to play, we'll just figure it out once I try to no damage all the boss fights, all the long battles in Yakuza 6. Now, the reason I'm trying to take out this couch enemy is because once I defeat this couch enemy, I will spawn a purple couch, and I can kick this purple couch at the enemies to deal massive damage. Now, why not grab the purple couch? Because a lot of the time, the enemy will just hit me before I can land a hit, or they'll just block my attacks. I think before I was vaguely referring to the fact that this version of the game, this PS3 version, is not easier than the remasters, and it's because, well, I was deluded. I actually did a walkthrough of Yakuza 3 on the hard difficulty on the PS3, and enemies just did not block that much. You can go watch that walkthrough, but I was kind of like, wow, people were lying about Yakuza 3. Enemies don't block. I should no damage all the long battles in this game on the original PS3 because it's going to be so much easier than the remaster. But then once you play this game on Legend, once you actually go and like select that Legend X hard difficulty, it's the exact same as the remaster, kind of. There's still some advantages to the original PS3 version. One, your dodge is not fucked. What happened with the remaster, so on PS4, like, your dodge just, like, overshoots. So you actually have to, like, spend less time dodging. You have to do, like, half presses in order to, like, not make your dodge all fucked up, because a lot of the time your dodge has to do, like, a 180 around the enemy. But on the PS4 version, a lot of the time it does a 360. So that's why you need to do, like, a half press. While on PC, we kind of got the worst of both worlds. The dodge is shorter on PC for some godforsaken reason. So some of the strategies on those other versions are a little bit more fucked up on PC just because your dodge is shorter and you don't have as much distance. So that is a big shame. So yes, for here I do like the little heat action which takes out 4 enemies. And then once it takes out the 4 enemies, we just kind of have to deal with the enemies like one by one. You know, do a little bit of grabs, be a little bit careful. I just hate this one enemy type here, the one that copies Hayashi's moveset, because he just doesn't get knocked down to the ground that conveniently. But yeah, before I continue talking, I want to get back to just... But yeah, no, in terms of enemies blocking, they still block nearly just as much as in the remaster. So if you wanted to do a Legend run on the original PS3 because you think they're going to block less, they're not. They're not. They're going to block the exact same. So whatever strategies you have to do to, like, you know, circumnavigate the blocking in the remasters, it's the same deal here. That's just the way the game is designed on the hardest difficulty. It's just that in the remaster, the hardest difficulty is just the way the hard difficulty works. Because I'm pretty sure, like, Yakuza 3 Remastered on hard difficulty just plays like Legend in this original PS3 version. So, yeah, no, just play on hard difficulty on the original PS3 and you will have a more fun time. But on Legend, it's the same shit. But mind you, even though enemies do block a lot, once again, there are strategies to circumnavigate them. You know, grab them, bounce them against a wall, dodge behind them. And that's the one thing about the original PS3 version, is that dodging behind them does tend to work better And another strategy that tends to work better is just like knocking the enemy to the ground, picking them up like from their back, you know, they're on the ground, you pick them up from the back to pretty much raise them up and then doing a combo behind them. That tends to work better on the PS3, though there might be certain niche situations where that just doesn't end up working out. And then for this commentary, I think I'm talking really fast because I mean these long battles are going by really, really fast because I've just forgotten to mention the equipment I'm using for every single long battle. I'm doing none of these without zero equipment. I have stuff equipped for every single long battle. They're different most of the time. For the first 2 long battles, I'm using a thing which lets me block blades, like the kind of bladed gauntlets or whatever. I think that's what they're called. That's how I was able to block a blade attack without heat, because there is an upgrade which allows you to block blades, but only when you have heat. But in the first long battle, if you were paying attention, which my attention is kind of going all over the place, I did block an attack without heat, so that's why I had equipment on. And the other item I'm using is like the Herculean gloves, like some sort of gloved like equipment item, in order to like make my grabs like, you know, more effective, to be able to grab enemies for longer, since grabs are going to be a very important process of no damaging this game. And then for the second level, the Conda level, I had the same exact setup, except I was not on red health. I did red health for the first level. For the Conda level, I did just full health because, you know, that level's the easiest one in the game, so I thought, why not do full health? But red health does give you more benefits. You know, your heat just builds up over time. You have access to better heat actions, so on and so forth. But for this level, I think this level takes the cake for being the hardest in the game by far. Like, by far. It's just kind of bullshit. And a big reason why it's bullshit is just this section here. This section in particular is probably like the worst designed combat scenario in the entire game. The only one that can really compete is the one that comes after this level. Like you're gonna see it when we get there, but this and that other section are easily like the worst designed sections in the game. Like this is just incredibly annoying unless you spam weapons. But yeah, the equipment I have equipped for this section in particular, I have the Bloody Bindings, I have the Payback Ring, and I think I still have the Herculean Gloves, or I may have another thing. That's like the one thing I'm actually not sure about. But yeah, I definitely have the Bloody Bindings and the Payback Ring, so I have red health with the Payback Ring, so I can deal more damage. I have the Bloody Bindings because with the Bloody Bindings, the less health you have, the more your heat, like, you know, explodes in, like, power. So, you know, explodes in power, that's a fucking weird way to describe it. You just gain more heat with the Bloody Binding, so you get an insane amount of heat, so you're always, like, you know, heated up, always doing stuff there. So yeah, and like the only way to actually like defeat this guy in an efficient manner, which doesn't make you want to pull your hair out, is with this knife. Though I have seen other no damagers do that section without relying on just spamming weapons here, but this section's like the most bullshit part of the game, so I will be spamming weapons. And also, something that is actually harder in the original here is that gun enemy. So something happened with the remaster of the game where the AI of certain gun enemies just got broken, but in the original it is not broken. Like the basic gun enemies that point and shoot at you to, you know, kill you, they will do it immediately. They're actually very quick with it in this game. But in the remaster, I don't know if it was the boost to 60 FPS or 4K, but they actually just don't shoot you at all. And this is most apparent in the final level of the game, but it is also apparent in this section. However, I think one thing which is easier in the original compared to the remaster, though I haven't exactly tested it myself, but just from my experiences here, the chases in the original Yakuza 3 I think are easier than they are in the remaster, just because like I think this boost to 60 FPS just made the enemies slightly faster, so it's more of a pain in the ass to deal with them, while the 30 FPS just originally here, the chases just aren't as bad. Though a lot of my experience and like talking points from this come from me playing this game on hard, and what I found out is on Legend difficulty, I think the guys are slightly faster, so it may or may not be the same, but by the time I was playing this game on Legend difficulty, I've already fully upgraded my chase meter by doing like those optional like MAC training missions, which only appear after this level, which is fucked up because this level has like one of the worst chases in the game, though replaying it, it's not as bad on a replay, but on PC, it was fucking miserable. While on PS3, I just don't remember it being that bad. And yeah, since I'm doing this entire level in one take, I should probably mention each of these long battles will be done in one take. And you may be wondering, why do I have to mention that? Because in my previous like long battle no damage videos, I didn't exactly do everything in one take. For my Yakuza 2 and Kiwami 2 videos, I did not do everything in one take. I mean, I do specify it in my commentary versions, but if you are unaware, that's actually a reason I kind of want to revisit these long battle videos. Or I think that might be a good reason why I haven't continued doing long battle videos like immediately after doing like my Yakuza 2 and Kiwami 2 ones, is that, well, for one, these long battle no damages may be some of the most infuriating shit to do in terms of like Yakuza no damaging, because like, you know, dealing with a boss fight is one thing, But dealing with a random group of enemies, like they can like clip you out of nowhere. They're annoying to deal with groups, and also just the length of these just goes on for a really long time. Yeah, there's definitely less long battles than there are boss fights, but each one of them is just an insane like Herculean task to get through. But yeah, no, since I am cheesing this guy, I thought maybe I could like kind of spice it up, you know, use some spear combos to fuck this guy up. But if you're not using weapons, he's not really too hard to deal with. It's just that like I ran into an issue with this motherfucker where pretty much like, you know, you have to parry a certain attack he does like right after you kind of attack him with a certain combo. And I'm going to be doing that with like the final boss fight of this section. Well, not the final boss fight Lao Kao Long, but like the red guy. Because that guy's easier to parry. The reason this guy is a little difficult to parry is because like he could either do the attack he can parry, or he'll do this like this kicking animation. And for some reason, like Kiryu just cannot Komaki parry kicking animations. Like any kick attacks, you're fucked. You can't parry them. It's terrible. I fucking hate it. So instead, I just cheese the fuck out of him because, you know, if I'm gonna keep doing this level over and over and over, I'm not dealing with that shit. You're gonna get fucked. Like, it's not like just Komaki parrying like his retaliation attacks are even like that interesting to watch. But then again, I have seen people make them interesting, and I've been trying to segue into shouting out some really talented no damagers for like the past 5 minutes. I think maybe now during this like shitty little chase sequence, I should probably get back to it. But yeah, no. Actually, let me talk about something else entirely. The most bullshit chase in this game lies in the climax battles. And in the climax battles, it's like you have to like do a chase against Super Mac. And Super Mac is like the fastest opponent in the game. He has the most amount of health, and his arena, like his little like chase like area, is fucking bullshit. Like the opponents just spawning out of nowhere. Like the citizens, it's miserable. It is actually miserable. Like if you don't like land a bunch of hits like in the very beginning of that chase, you're basically fucked. Or it takes like 20 or 30 seconds to catch up to him to be able to like land another hit if you don't have a good rhythm with him. If you played this game before, and if you tried, like, you know, doing all the climax battles, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's probably worse on PC, but, like, holy fuck, I hate it so much. And, I mean, I really should be talking strategy, but my main strategy here is cheese. This entire level, I am cheesing as hard as I can, but you really, really do want to get rid of the gun enemies. I mean, I assume on the remastered version of this game, they don't do anything, so you can maybe ignore them, but on this version of the game, the PS3 version, you can't. You have to kill them, or they will absolutely shoot you for sure. Like, you know, it's not like, oh, shoot you like, no, like scam for sure type shit. I should have not fucking said that. Oh, that is terrible. Anyways, let's actually talk about the no damagers I really, really want to shout out. So, shout out to Amuro073, Makadota, Julian, and Darius, if I pronounced that correctly. These 4 legendary no damagers have all done the final level of this game in one take, the entire thing, including the final boss. Spoiler alerts, the final boss in the brown suit, Mine. They did all of that in one take, stylishly, you know, getting all the secrets in the level, defeating every single enemy. And spoiler alerts, I'm not going to do that, but I will mention, I really love this section here where I just keep spamming the circle attack with the spear, and it just kills them like once I do it like 4 times. And yeah, no, that's a fun thing with Yakuza 3 and Yakuza 4 is that, like, certain weapons just have these, like, special moves, which, you know, once you do them once, they will, like, take up a bunch of durability. They'll, like, ruin a lot of the durability of your weapon. So if your weapon has, like, 100 durability and you do one special move, it's going to take away, like, 10 of that durability, when normally you have to hit the enemy 10 times in order to get rid of that durability. This section is fucking bullshit, because once you kill this guy will immediately try to shoot you, like, most of the time, so you have to, like, immediately get on his case. You know, if you, like, spend time trying to pick up the gun off the floor, he's just gonna shoot you in the fucking face. I hate this fucking guy, dude. So yeah, no, I mean, maybe that doesn't happen in the remaster, but in the original PS3 version, that does fucking happen. So, you know, be very, very careful about that. And I guess since I'm here, I might as well specify that the 1440p 60 FPS, this footage is not 60 FPS. The final long battle will be 60 FPS, but even if I did the final long battle on the PS3, I would still record this video in 60 FPS because the menus are in 60 FPS. And also, that was such a close call, because the guy was just about to shoot me, and like the gun I threw hit him right before he shot me. That is an incredibly, incredibly close call. And here we're about to fight the actual final boss fight. But yeah, no, those previous 4 no damagers, check out their stuff. Their like no damagers are definitely more stylish than mine. I mean, I got the commentary though. I do be commentating. Not a lot of Yakuza no damagers be commentating over their footage, but like they really are a lot more stylish. And you can learn a lot from their gameplay. Like the way Amuro like 073 like pretty much has routed like Mine's like fight, you know, to style on him is insane. Like some of the shit he does to Mine, he was able to no damage Mine with like no upgrades. Like, I like no health upgrades, no body upgrades, no tech upgrades. I mean, I think he had like some upgrades kind of, but like with the lowest upgraded Kiryu, he was able to like perfectly no damage like Mine with style, with like, you know, variety in his combos when he had like no upgraded tools. It's insane. You should check that out. And the other no damagers are no slouches either. Because just doing that challenge, the little like doing the entire final level in one take, including Mine, is some like grueling shit. So, you know, check them out. Highly recommend their channels. And now I should probably talk about something else on my timeline because there's actually a lot to discuss with this game. I don't know if like I'm gonna be able to do it all in 38 minutes. Maybe in the final level, since that one is longer, I'll actually have more time to kind of yap. But yeah, let me get back to it. But yeah, no, this boss fight with this red guy here, there's not really much to discuss. I mean, I don't do anything too crazy. I just kind of parry, do a little combo, hit him a bunch, you know, so on and so forth. It's kind of what you see is what you get. But sometimes there's some really close calls. Like, he decides to like not block me and try to do an attack, and I just land a heavy attack before he does anything. I'm about to do it again. What? Whoa! Okay, man. I'm just thinking about like Soulja Boy's reaction to Braid, the video game. If you're not familiar, Braid is like this platformer indie game, and from what I've seen, the game's really good. It's just that Soulja Boy just uploaded a video of him playing it, and he's just like disregarding any of like the higher themes of the game. He's just kind of like, wow, this game's stupid as hell, man. I'm just jump on shit. There's like no point to the game. And then there was like this documentary released about indie developers, and he was like one of the main targets of that documentary. And he's just talking about like, you know, I did not like positive reviews of the game because I didn't like it for the same reasons I made it. And like one of the main clips they show about that is just Soulja Boy like doing his reaction to the game. So like the developer of Braid is just like sitting in a dark room. He's like all like somber and like, you know, melancholic, and you just hear like Soulja Boy in the background just like talking shit about his game. It's like one of the funniest clips of all time. I've never played Braid though, but I do want to. It's a pretty neat looking game. I like the art style, the aesthetic. And like some of the higher themes it's going for seem pretty neat. But anyways, back to not platformer games. The only platformer game I've no damaged is like Ice Age 2 the Meltdown. Hey, it came back. I mentioned that in the beginning of this video, a reincorporation. But yeah, the remaster of 3, like on PC, we're not there yet. This fight is probably the worst design in the game. It's either this one or the one I mentioned previously in the Lao Kao Long, like long battle. This shit is fucking terrible, man. I mean, yeah, I am spamming like little Metal Gear Rising like knife heat action here. But even doing this, it can be a bit of a pain in the ass. Like some of the stun gun enemies are the absolute fucking worst. And like a lot of the other movesets which the melee guys have are like the most pain in the ass ones to deal with. And you also can't get too close to this wall of enemies because every time you get too close, they'll push you off. And when they push you off, they fucking damage you. And you know, this just is more bullshit in retrospect because this game revisits the same exact like combat scenario. Hey, look at that, we're playing in 60 FPS now. But yeah, the menus on the PS3 version, I'm pretty sure are on 60 FPS, but now this game is actually in 60 FPS. This is like a little bit too crazy because the remaster, since the graphical quality is also just better because you can actually like get, you know, 4K textures kind of. It doesn't look as gray, it doesn't look as washed out, the colors are popping out more. That's very cute, so you know, I do appreciate that quite a bit. Just watching this in 60 FPS is just a marvel to behold. So yeah, this section is still kind of bullshit, so I will be spamming the knife heat action, but this section is nowhere near as bullshit as that previous section, because when you reach the wall of enemies, they don't fucking damage you. That's such bullshit. I hate that fucking like mentality. Where you have to like, go into the crowd and like they damage you. Instead, when you go into the crowd in this game, in this section in particular, they just kind of like move back a little bit and make the arena slightly bigger. I think that's a much better way of going about it, and also it's just a cool way to start off this final, long battle. The most infuriating enemies in this section are easily the knife enemies and the sword enemies. Well, I'm not sure about knife enemies, but definitely the sword enemies, because they just attack you so fucking fast sometimes when you're done with the heat action or just when you're walking around, they'll just immediately attack you. Insanely frustrating shit. You kind of have to, like, if you have a weapon equipped, blocked. If you have, like, you know, something to block blades, kind of block. You take advantage of blocking, because if you're just running around, they'll just instantly attack you with an attack that's so fucking fast you can't react to it. Anyways, here's some gun tech for you to know. If you stand still and don't, like, hold down the lock on and you press the fire button, you fire faster. So, like, honestly, the way guns work throughout these games tends to change, you know, with different combat systems, you know, with different engines. But in this game in particular, you just kind of don't lock onto the enemy, you know, don't hold down that shifting button. I don't know if this game still calls it shifting, but yeah, don't hold down the shifting button. Just like look at an enemy, don't move, and just spam the fire button and you will fire faster. That will become important later in this video. But I remember that in Yakuza 0 and Kiwami 1, that game had some weird-ass gun tech. Like, if you, like, did the lock-on in a certain way, you fired a lot faster. And that was, like, super useful for, like, this really gimmicky climax battle. We had to, like, go through the entire Tojo clan, but only in the Beast style and only with the golden gun. And it was a pain in the ass, but that was, like, one way to make it easier. And I just did not know how to do it consistently. So that's, like, something that's kind of, like, beyond me. I'm not going to lie to you. But yeah, my strategy there is I want to throw a guy down the stairs. I want to build my heat up to red heat. I'm going to take this fire extinguisher and hit this couch enemy with it. And in the remaster, there's certain changes compared to the original. I mean, I talked about some of them, but I want to talk about some other ones which I haven't mentioned yet. So, I think heat builds up faster in the remaster. Maybe that's just like 60 FPS tricking me, or maybe that's 60 FPS like actually making the heat build up faster. Because like on the PS3, it kind of build up a little bit slower. While here, I like reach maximum heat a lot faster with a similar setup. So yeah, the equipment I'm using in this section, no bloody bindings, but I will be using the payback ring, and I am using like the Herculean glove, which allows you to grab enemies like better, more better, grab more better. And you will get an access to my inventory because I'm actually going to open up the pause screen and change some of my equipment for a later section of this game. So, you know, you'll get to see what I'm talking about in more detail. And this guy, I used to hate this fucking guy, and I still kind of do, but once you understand how he works, he's not as bad. So here we're going to start off with a little rolling heat action because, like, one of the most annoying things about this guy is that normally he dodges fucking everything you do. Or he blocks everything you do. And the thing is, we want to depend on him blocking everything you do. So if you set things up ideally, you can kind of do this like little combo tech where you do a square, square, triangle. And that hit makes him like bounce back up, you know, like, ooh! So then you can combo him a little bit more, but you have to like space yourself out really well. You have to like use the wall in a certain way. Like if you set yourself up really, really well, you can actually pull off some infinites in this game, which I did not know about, but you can do it. I can think of Muro073 has like some good videos doing some of these infinites. But yeah, the main strategy with this boss fight here, this mini-boss, is pretty much like, you know, do a heat action, just when he's getting up, attack him so that he's blocking you. Once you're done with your, like, little attack there, a lot of the time he's going to, like, instantly attack back, so then you parry that. It's like a consistent parry almost every single time, and if it's not a consistent parry, you accidentally grab him and he throws you off, you know, he's, like, being a little bitch, and he's, like, bitching at you. Take out your knife and fucking stab him for being a little bitch! Alright, so, sorry about the anger there, but I think it's warranted given that this guy is fucking... I hate this fucking guy. Shut the fuck up. Why are you doing that, bro? So I'm gonna hit him with a bat now. And also on this PC version, I'm using someone else's save file, which pretty much like unlocks every single like weapon and equipment in this game, and also just has Kiryu fully upgraded. So that's definitely helpful in comparison to my PS3 save file, where by this point in time, I did fully upgrade my body. Oh, I'm not sure if I mentioned it before, but I did not have my body fully upgraded in the previous section, so when I threw an enemy, the other enemies did not fall down. While here, now I actually have that upgrade, so when I throw an enemy, the other enemy actually like gets impacted and falls down. That's like an upgrade you get very late into the game. So yeah, the reason I'm doing the remaster and not the original game for this specific long battle is this hallway. Because, you know, in this hallway, in the original game, the enemies actually just immediately shoot you and try to kill you. While in this game, in the remaster, they're broken and they just don't shoot you at all. They have the gun for the fashion. They're fuckers. So, you know, they're little bitches. So you just, boom, bam, pow. Use a gun to defeat the couch enemy. Use a gun to get that guy's gun. Get that gun so you can shoot that guy in the face over there. Turn back. Don't shoot him. Save your ammo. Do a heat action on this guy. You're going to get your heat back when you shoot the guy across the hall that's going to just teleport in a little bit. I have this section routed down to a little science. And to be fair, a lot of the routing here does depend on you having red health and like the payback ring just so that you deal extra damage, because if you don't have the payback ring, you deal less damage, which means you need more ammo from the gun and you won't be able to kill every single enemy with just guns. So that is the one thing about not using any equipment. So I've run into a weird glitch here where sometimes if I kill these enemies too fast, like that guy's gun just disappears. It happened, there. For some reason, that guy's gun is just gone. I don't know how it disappeared. I don't know if it like went inside the walls, but like that's a really big shame because I really need that second gun. But I'm just gonna manage by throwing the gun as a bullet itself. So yeah, boom, 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 boom. Ran out of ammo. Throw the gun. It kills him. So you need to watch out in that specific section there because those two enemies, the both of them can throw grenades at you, and I hate those fucking grenades, guys, so much. And yeah, you can like route this section to a point where you know you just kill them before they can throw any grenades, but they're very fucking annoying. Watch out with those guys. Those guys are actually dangerous. So yeah, do a heat action to defeat those two shotgun guys, then run into this guy, carry him up, and thankfully, I'm very happy that on the remaster, you can still like pick him up and like actually deal a combo. He's like susceptible to that. The shotgun guys, not so much. So you really want to defeat the shotgun guys, and this guy's a little bit more of a combo or comboable like individual. So this is the guy you want to pick up and just punch in the face a whole bunch. And then boom, we're in the elevator, and there's going to be a really pain in the ass enemy, and then like a big enemy, which is also a pain in the ass. And you're going to want to deal with them. Also, the big enemies are a pain in the ass in the pit in the beginning of this long battle. They're the second most annoying enemy behind the knife and sword guys. So, you know, be careful about those guys. And when I say that gun enemies don't shoot in the remaster, that's only the typical gun enemies. You know, like the ones that were in that previous hallway. They don't shoot, but there's certain gun enemies that do shoot. The ones that have like more elaborate animations and like do more elaborate tells. Like the one who like instead of holding the gun with like 2 hands, the one that holds it with 1 hand, they're kind of dangerous and they will actually shoot you even in the remaster. So yeah. I use like a little lightsaber sword. I do a sick Kenzen heat action on the white guy. On the red guy, I just hit him a whole bunch. And then like, you know, once I'm done with my combo string, I block because sometimes he does like the big enemy does like his attack where he just like kind of goes, and he like kind of rushes in on you with like, just rushes in on you. I don't know how to describe it. It's very disturbing. But he didn't do it in this run, but he does do it in some runs. And it kind of like, previously, I would just spam my combo twice, but like in spamming my second combo, he just like hyper armors through it if I don't block beforehand. So yeah, that's very, very dangerous. I also like to do this thing where I kind of smoke. I angle the camera in such a way where like it zooms in on Kiri so you can get all those nice little pixels. And if this was on PS3, it would be a lot more fuzzy, but still, you get like those like natively upscaled pixels on the RetroTink 5X. And I haven't mentioned it yet, but I actually bought like a new mic equipment thingy. This little like circle mic muffler popper, I forgot what it's called, but I really hope it's making my audio better because I was planning on buying a new mic and frankly, I kind of still need to buy a new mic, but instead I kind of bought this little device for way cheaper and I really hope it improves my audio quality. And here, I won't be doing Mine, but I will be doing Andre's fights back to back in one take. This is still one take, the entire long battle and all of Andre's fight, and believe me, it is a pain in the ass! Like, this is supposed to be the easy section, and it's still kind of easy to fuck up if you, like, fuck up a certain dodge, or even if you block his attacks. Like, some of his attacks can kind of go through you if he kicks, like, furniture into you. I've had that happen to me, and I was actually planning on making that, like, its own little meme. And I will be making a huge-ass meme. Like, from all the failures I've had of, like, you know, no damaging the long battles in Yakuza 3, I have, like, 26 gigabytes of, like, clips and footage of just, like, memetic stuff. I want to make it to 1 mega, like, meme. Like, I'm on the edge of my seat experience with Yakuza 3. It will be a funny one. I promise you, I will make it a funny one. But yeah, there's a lot of bullshit in that one. To be fair, the reason it's 26 gigabytes because like all my footage is 1440p. So there is that. I could have recorded this final section in 4K, but like what's the point when my previous sections were 1440p? I might as well just do this in 1440p. And all things considered, 4K is kind of overrated. I mean, there's not that much difference between 1440p and 4K, but since I can do 4K, for a lot of my videos, I do plan on doing 4K whenever I plan on no damaging the other long battles in the other Yakuza games. But, like, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think there's a single Yakuza game where, like, the long battles are easy. They all have some fucking bullshit to them. The easiest one, just from my assumptions, is maybe Yakuza 0. Because I feel like that game is probably, like, the most forgiving in terms of, like, the other ones. But it's still going to have some bullshit to them. Like, the final Kiryu level, the final Majima level still has some bullshit to them. Like, I mean, spoilers for, like, that one. There's, like, some fucking couch enemies or just, like, some heavy enemies you have to fight, like, at the end of, like, Kiryu's boat level that are kind of fucking bullshit. I don't know if there's an easy way to deal with them, but it's still less bullshit than some of the stuff the other games throw at you. Like, I can't name a single Yakuza game where I'm like, well, that's going to be easy. The only one I could think of was maybe Yakuza Dead Souls, and, like, I'm just making assumptions. I don't even know for a fact there. Anyways, I'm going to cheese these 4 enemies that pull up here because I hate these fuckers. I'm just going to use the bat, like, little heat action on them. And also, this specific save file I have has, like, every single weapon in the game. But for some reason, every single weapon in the game has, like, infinite durability. And I don't know how you achieve that. I don't know. Like, I did not activate any mods for this, like, walkthrough here. It's just the save file I'm using. It just has, like, infinite, like, items. But yeah, honestly, for this final Andre fight, I'm going to take a little bit of an easy approach and just equip the Sacred Tree armor, which I don't even know how to get this armor. It just came with the save file. But once you equip all 3 pieces, you can block the bullets. So you can block the shotgun bullets, you can block this handgun bullets. And the reason I'm doing this is because, like, some of Andre's attacks here are just complete fucking bullshit. Honestly, this is still, like, the most fun gun boss fight in, like, the franchise. Like, he still has, like, the most fair moveset in Yakuza 3 specifically, because, like, they copy this moveset in other games, and in other games, it's a pain in the ass to deal with. Like, I'm pretty sure this moveset comes back in, like, Judgment, and it's fucking miserable to fight there. But in this game, it's actually a ton of fun. But the one thing which is not fun about this guy, alright, so the shotgun phase typically is fun, but sometimes he'll do this bullshit thing where he'll just point his shotgun at me and, like, not telegraph its attack, and he'll just, like, randomly shoot me, and I hate that. When most of the time what he's supposed to do is just not point the shotgun. Yeah, whenever he does that, that's fucking bullshit. I hate that shit so much, man. He's typically just supposed to dodge and do that. I can deal with that. I can't deal with that other shit. So yeah, he'll start blocking you once he wants to switch to his pistols. That's a little bit annoying to deal with, but I dealt with that pretty nicely there. You need to have really good reactions in order to no damage this guy. And yeah, I do have the Sacred Tree Armor equipped, but I think in this no damage attempt specifically, I don't actually like block any of his bullets, so I didn't really need it, but you know, I guess that like confidence just gave me the confidence to be a little bit more active and exciting, and I guess just experimental in the way I tackle this guy. Well, I'm not experimenting at all with this guy. I'm just dodging, doing a full combo, doing like the same like ground heat action over and over again. But you know what? I mean, it works for me. It's one take. You know, fuck that. Like honestly, Mine's not even that bad to no damage. He actually has like a more consistent way to like no damage him in an easy way compared to Andre here. Like, am I even saying his name right? Like Andre? There's other things on the outline I really want to mention. Yeah, like the changes the remaster of 3 brings. So I already mentioned that your heat builds up quicker in the remaster. And also when you grab an enemy, I think you also turn around quicker. So setting up combos by kicking enemies into a wall is easier in the remaster. And yeah, your dodge is definitely worse on the remasters, on PC specifically. And on the PS4, it's worse in a different way. It also feels like the couch enemies, you know, like the enemies which carry big-ass couches or bicycles, you know, the ones that, like, block doorways. That guy dodged so fast. Holy shit. Yeah, that specific attack is fucking bullshit. I like every single part of this guy's moveset except that one attack where he starts shooting to the side because, you know, you have to kind of, like, react very quickly to his attacks. You have to, like, dodge around him. But sometimes when you dodge around him, you'll kind of be, like, on slightly on his left, slightly on his right, instead of, like, you know, all the way behind him. So he'll shoot to the side and one of the stray bullets will just get you, and it's infuriating every single fucking time. And I mean, you probably saw me do this like beforehand. Yeah, you saw me do this beforehand where I just went into the menu and equipped the calming towel because like, once he reaches like his heat phase here, what happens is that when he has the pistols, you're only allowed to do like square, triangle, triangle, or square, 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 dodge. You're not really allowed to do heavy attacks anymore beyond square, triangle, triangle. But once he reaches his shotgun phase, what I like to do is equip the calming towel and just beat the shit out of him. I mean, there's no better way to describe it. Just like square, 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 dodge, quick step attack, square, 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 dodge, quick step attack. And if my square attacks aren't hitting him, just dodge again, quick step attack. But, you know, once he's like in his pistol phase, equip the Sacred Tree Armor again, because I'm not dealing with that shit. And boom. Also equipping the Sacred Tree Armor so I can take advantage of the heat I'm going to gain from this QTE, which is really sick, by the way. Yeah, oh my goodness, I've had to like just yap so quickly to get all my points across, and I don't even think I'm going to be able to get all my points across in time. But once he gets a shotgun, I'm going to immediately equip the calming towel and just beat the shit out of him. It's like the most fun way to deal with that phase. Also, I wanted to mention this, but like, you could have seen previously in this fight, I was like blocking when he was doing like his get up attack, but I was facing the wrong way, so if he actually hit me, I would have taken damage. But thankfully, I was like so far away from him that I did not take damage. Anyways, let me talk about the other things from my outline before this video ends. Oh man, oh my throat is in pain. But I believe you can't do the smoke heat action. I mean, I did it in like the first long battle, but I believe you cannot do it if you're drunk, because if you try to do the smoking heat action, you'll just do the drunk heat action instead. So that's kind of a shame. Oh man. And for my PS3 gameplays, I think I already talked about that before. Yeah, like for the first 2 long battles, did not have body fully upgraded, so that when I threw enemies, the other enemies just got clipped, but they did not get knocked down, which made that section more difficult. And also, once the orphanage is destroyed in the story, this is the final level, I feel I can talk about that. You lose your save point there. So, you know, if you're trying to do the thing where you collect worms from a little wormhole, like right next to the doggy or whatever at your orphanage, typically, at the beginning of the game, you just go to your save point in the orphanage, you know, go out, just keep spawning the worms over and over and over again. But once the orphanage is destroyed, you can't do that. Instead, I just kind of went to the little fishing spot, entered the fishing minigame, exited the fishing minigame, and then got my worms that way. Kept respawning worms that way. And I was kind of like, man, I don't want to collect worms this way. I just want to buy the baits. And you can buy other baits in this game. It's just that the other baits don't make you lose nearly as much health as the worms do. So the worms are just like the best option in Yakuza 3. However, Yakuza 4 changes this because there's like certain clams you can eat, which make you lose like a third of your health bar, which I think is a very good, welcome improvement. I'm pretty sure the only way to buy those clams is to pretty much contact a certain seller as Saejima in the fishing minigame, and the video's over. Oh man, this video's gonna be longer with commentary because I still have more to yap about. But yeah, no, in Yakuza 3, the worms is the best way to go. What do the worms do? Well, you can fish with them, and if you eat them as Kiryu to make you lose your health, that's how I was able to get red health for a lot of these encounters. I mean, in the beginning of the video, I think you actually saw me consume some of those worms. But yeah, the video's over, but I still want to yap about certain things. So there's no point in equipping a weapon before entering like the famous gun hallway, which happened beforehand, because you always enter unequipped no matter what weapon you had equipped beforehand. And also, if you skip the intro cutscene to the gun hallway on the PS3, I think the gun enemies actually shoot you faster. So if you're gonna no damage that on the PS3, it's better to let that little like dynamic intro of that gun hallway play out, because if you skip it too quickly, I think the gun enemies react quicker to you. So, be careful about that. And yeah, that's everything I think I wanted to mention. So yeah, thank you so much for watching my Yakuza 3 Legend No Damage All Long Battles video. And I'll see you all then for the next time I no damage a long battle in Yakuza 3, or just whatever video is going to come after this one. It's probably not going to be a long battles video. But the next game I plan on doing is Yakuza 7. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all then for the next part. Peace out.